Hey everyone, this is Matt Trait. I'm going to go over my blended learning classroom that I built here through our LMS at Del Castle, which is Schoology. Right now, you're seeing the homepage of our Schoology for our course Phys Ed 2, Section 7-9, which is one that I created. I'll end up taking all the resources from this course that you'll see I'll run you through, and I'll use it for one of my courses this spring. So here, top left, we have a picture to identify this course. And then you can see this is a look at what all the students would see as far as all the folders. We'll get started here. We'll go into our resource folder. In our resource folder, we have all our MED 7818 documents for this screencast. I wanted to have them all in here, as well as all the resources students will need to navigate through the course. Now you'll see a lot of these videos and some of these charts. They're in here in the resource folder, but they are also located in the individual folder, the corresponding folder for those resources. So as we dive into the MED 7818 documents, we will take a look at the learning plan. So as we look at the learning plan here, I'll zoom through and you'll see on the Schoology page, I have multiple units up. That way I was just trying to build the course out for the entire spring and figured I would just highlight what I'm going to use for this class. But the two units and modules that we're going to highlight for this course are our Fit for Life unit, which is a large unit, usually takes us 2 to 3 weeks to complete, and then the other one being the basketball unit. Now these are constructed about the same as far as the pathways the learners are able to choose. The biggest difference is in some of the way that they are being assessed. So as we look here in our Fit for Life model, students have the option of how they're going to receive the content, whether they receive it through lecture, an interactive classroom model, demonstrations, or a flipped classroom. Now, the way that we've built this course out, it's unique in the fact that this is kind of how we've always done it. We just haven't utilized Schoology much to build it out. So as students go through and we're delivering content, you'll see some students prefer to get some of the information through lecture, and then others, they might switch on another piece of the project or the unit and they'll want some demonstration. So it really frees students up. We're just trying to create multiple avenues for success. You'll see in this unit we'll require them to complete a daily fitness log. They'll be evaluated through peer and teacher evaluations. Game-based learning through Kahoot, which is one of the formative assessments that we'll use, as well as an individual or small group total body workout plan. The other choice that the students have is how they present their final product, whether it's written, video, or through peer instruction. The video would be more of a flipped classroom video demonstration, running us through their workout plan. Peer instruction, the student or students would turn around and teach their workout one day of the 3-day workout plan to the class. For basketball, much of the same. Again, students get to choose kind of which path they want to take, but also have the freedom to adjust off that path. The biggest difference here is they will complete a daily activity log, which is different from the fitness log, since this is just charting our daily activity versus what we're completing in the weight room. And then there will be peer teaching involved in this from a group standpoint. As we continue to navigate through the resource folder, you can see we also have our performance scale, goal diagram, and our visual action plan. Now as we go back to the main, you will see introductory activities located here in our Getting Started folder. So this is a simple welcome to class. Objectives are outlined. Our Phys Ed course outline. That way they understand the chain of events in which we will go over different units, what to expect from different units, and all about you. That way we can start to build relationships with some of our students. Our course is usually a semester-long course. Students start in driver's ed, and then we get them a couple weeks in. So we have them for a little bit longer, so we're able to build a little bit better of a connection. And then this opens up our community discussion forum, which, much like our course that we're all enrolled in right now, is just a safe place for students to share ideas and bounce different topics off of each other. As we roll into the general information, this is going to house our syllabus. Again, I wanted to have this in multiple places, our course outline. That way it's easy for students to find. In here, which is also outlined in the first two discussions, we have our discussion and collaboration policies and then a reference page for students. One thing I wanted to add to hopefully ease some confusion with students as they're navigating this course is a YouTube video that I put together, a screencast that I use just like we're doing right now with Screencast-O-Matic, on how to navigate the course. So it's an easy way, hopefully, for students if they get lost on just like easy things that they don't so much need me for, they can troubleshoot themselves. So that'll be located here in that troubleshooting folder. The first week, again, more introductory activities. So intro to class, again, our phys ed course outline. That way it's easy to find for students. An introductory activity, which we used a multimedia voice thread for, a way to think of it as a virtual discussion board, a way for students to add through voice or video as well as text, kind of a change just like our regular discussion board, but they're going to create their own voice thread submission, and students are going to be tasked to comment on at least 2 other students. And then we also have a Nearpod introductory activity that students will complete throughout the week. Next, you'll see our unit folders or our module folders. I don't want to spend too much time on the fitnessgram, much like the introduction to class, but the fitnessgram is a state requirement for us, so it's part of our summative and our formative assessments. But in here, this usually takes about a week and a half to complete. We'll have an introductory to our Fit for Life, which leads us right into our big unit, a Nearpod that we created for that, as well as discussion board, all of our fitnessgram, the information the students need, readings, healthy fitness zones for their age group, and then the informational videos, creating that flipped classroom model. We will also go over those demonstrations and give them lecture on that as well, and then a goal setting area for them. And this is mirrored with the post testing, but this is a way for us to get baseline data on all of our students. As we move into Module 1, which is the big one, all the Fit for Life information can be found in here, including the resources. This is just a virtual tour of our Del Castle weight room to give students a little bit of background information and knowledge before they step foot in it. They can kind of see it and get a lay of the land. Our daily fitness log, which is a linked Google form. Discussion board. We decided to create a Kahoot and use it as a pre-test for the weight room, and then we'll turn around and match their scores from the pre-test and then do a post-test just to check for understanding as well as create a little compete element in our class. We have linked our Fit for Life tests on Schoology. This is just a quick hitter, 10-question true or false. Then once we move from our Fit for Life test, we'll move into some body weight exercises before we transition into machine exercises and then Olympic lifts and free weights. So this is kind of tiered, just how we would segment it in class. And then it finishes out with either our individual workout plan project and our group project. So in here, you will find information on that individual project as well as exercise videos. We also have a pre-made workout template that students are able to utilize, and this will help set up their body fat, their BMI, their target BMI. It's all set up through a Google Sheet. Students will make a copy of that if they want to use this template, or again, through the personalization of this lesson, they're able to design their own template. Once students complete their project, they will submit their project through Schoology, or if it's the written project, they'll submit it through Schoology or the video. And if they've chosen the peer instruction option, we will score them. The teacher and peers will score them based off of the presentation that they give to the class. Once we complete Module 1, which was highlighted for this course, we will move into Module 2, which is the most popular sport and activity that we have here for our students at Del Castle, which is basketball. and we'll move into a daily activity log, and then a couple flipped classroom videos, a Nearpod for basketball, and this houses our basketball information, a couple mini games. To give you a good look of what our activity log looks like. It's very basic, straightforward, and it's a daily thing. A good way for us to get a little bit more information on each student, as well as to check for understanding. We roll back. Our Del Castle Phys Ed daily rubric that we use to score students. So I wanted to have this posted in each model because Del Castle has been very adamant that they do not want us to link our gradebook on Schoology to eSchool. I'm not sure why, but ever since I've been here for 9 years, when we've been using this LMS, they do not want teachers to link the gradebook. So I wanted to have our rubric on here. For the course, I did have our gradebook set up. The rubric is live on here, and it's a shell copy of that. I wanted to have that to kind of check that box for the project, but as far as linking it to our gradebook, for my day-to-day class, we did not do that. And then again, in the basketball unit, to finish out this unit, the project that the students will create is developing a lead-up activity or a mini game for basketball. Finally, we have our final post test for our fitnessgram, which again mirrors the original pre-test. The only thing that's different is this gives a concrete look at where the students land in the healthy fitness zone. So just to recap, a couple of the multimedia features that we utilize for this course are the flipped classroom model, utilizing things such as Screencast-O-Matic and YouTube, and then a lot of interactive learning activities through Nearpod, Kahoot, and VoiceThread. So as we dive into the overall personalization of this unit, when we talk about learning paths and choice, students have the choice in how they deliver their final product in both of those modules. They also, through checking for entry-level skills, when we're teaching a new subject or diving into a new unit, they will have the option of where they start. If they've displayed the proper motor concepts and movements, those students are now able to kind of jump over the entry-level skills and start at a more middle ground level. Students also have the opportunity to choose their pace. Through Schoology, we're going to leave everything open, encouraging students to work ahead to give them ample time. We will set guidelines and due dates for certain things. That way we can still assist students that maybe struggle with pace, but those students that are high flyers and want to really get after it, want to make sure we have everything open for them. And then content, as we talked about in the beginning when we looked at pathways, students will have their choice in how they receive the content, and that is a ever-flowing two-way street that students can kind of change as they go and as they see fit. Our students will be formatively assessed through their daily participation grades. Physical education is a participation-based course, as well as their daily workout or activity logs and the interactive learning activities that they take part in. As far as the performance scale, we talked about how Del Castle doesn't want that linked, but the bulk of the student grades in physical education comes from their daily participation in class, and then the projects, which will be housed here on Schoology. Lastly, when we talk about flexible learning environments, I feel like that is what Del Castle Phys Ed is based off of. We have multiple classes within one block, and within those multiple classes, we have multiple grade levels. So it allows the opportunity for students to collaborate across different walks of life as well as different ages. Students are encouraged to pick different students to work with constantly, and we give them that freedom. Physical education and physical activity itself is something that not everyone enjoys, so we find it very important that we're flexible in allowing students to choose their groups. I feel like the fact that we co-teach and the different instructional strategies we use promote a flexible learning environment on a daily basis. Thank you everyone for watching my video. It's been great to learn with you and from you this block. Hope everybody finishes out this project strong, and best of luck moving forward.